Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. I had to change the thumbnail. Excuse me, I had to change the thumbnail because I thought I wasn't going to get the Ireland game because it's on pay-per-view. This is what the thumbnail was going to be. Czech Republic versus Ireland World Cup watch-alongs. I have managed to get the game, so we are going to watch the Ireland game. So if you are watching the Ireland game, watch that and have a chat on here. And Ireland have just kicked off. Looks like Ireland's playing three at the back. Yep, Ireland are playing three at the back. Liam Scales is banned from this game because he got yellow carded too many times. No Scales, he is banned from this game. Johnny Kenny's on the bench though, I think. Let me just get the Ireland team. Scales will be in the next round. Well, the next, not the next round, but the second part of the playoff. Adam Ida and Johnny Kenny are on the bench, but no Scales. No Scales is out with that too many yellow cards. Anyway, before we talk, I'm going to keep watching that, but PLZ Soccer, we're talking about Celtic yesterday, and talking about the fact that there's a lot of rumours been going around that Dermot Desmond's getting ready to sell Celtic. A lot of Celtic fans have dismissed it. Some financial guys are trying to say that because of the money that Celtic are sitting within the bank, it makes them a prime asset for selling. You get more for your shares when you're sitting with that kind of money in the bank. So I thought I'd give it a little listen to. Let me just make sure that the volume is up so that you can hear it also. Yeah, is that? We're going to listen to PLZ Soccer talking about the fact that will Celtic be sold this summer?
Celtic, Dyson Maeda last year was on fire. This time last year he had 29 goals. This season he has 8. He hasn't scored since January the 10th. So it's a 4-0 win. So Celtic, I think actually if you look at the Celtic strikers out now, centre forwards, I think Johnny Kenny probably still scored more than any of them.
He has.
So that's a remarkable situation. And Martin O'Neill is throwing jelly at a wall, hoping something sticks. Nothing is. And Hearts have this body of work they've got. You know, they've got Braga, they've got Shanklin. Kizadidis has gone off the boil a bit.
Yep.
But, you know, they've got players there who really can make a difference and can be game match winners, and they're entitled to be called.
Here's the irony though, we spoke a few months ago about the transfer window being crucial. I mean, a big hullabaloo about how pivotal it would be. There'd be somebody who would get signed that would step forward and carry their team, drag them over the line. Nobody's emerged. Nobody.
Well, yeah.
Other than Lonnie Shanklin coming back, Cammy Devlin coming back. That could prove to be...
Come back. And then you've got James Ford.
That Celtic will come back as what we know as Celtic, because...
Do you think this is mismanagement on a grand scale?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely no question about that. I mean,
Mismanagement on a grand scale. Do you know, it's okay as fans sitting talking like that, but when you start to get these journalists speaking like that, who's the young Czech player? Sorry, I'm watching the game. Ireland have got a corner here. Is it a corner or is it a throw? It's a corner. We'll come back to this story in a minute. Ireland do have a corner kick. Can Ireland get anything from the corner? 3-minute 24 in. Corner comes in. Oh, edge of the box. Back in. Oh. That's away by the defender. Right, let's get back to listen to the paid journals talking about the mismanagement of Celtic.
things had to happen for this scenario to come to pass. Rangers or Hearts had to get better. That has happened. The Celtic had to drop the ball on a spectacular level, and they've done that. And it comes right for the very top of the club. There is understandable criticism by the board of directors, but I don't know if anybody really believes that board of directors has genuine power or clout over what happens at Celtic.
I'm going to get a point to you on this, but I'm going to ask him first, and then you can throw your tuppence worth in on it. I've been speaking to some financial people who clearly feel that you always try and second guess the end game on this when you know the Hearts game, because they outlined at the start of the season to much ridicule, which was this is year one of a plan towards trying to win the league and not have Celtic and Rangers dominating. You know the Rangers plan because it's now an American one where they've distanced themselves from that old guard of 6 or 7 Rangers investors all fighting for power. So you've got a clear strategy from them now. You've got 77 million in the bank, and you know some of the people I've been speaking to think it looks as if he's gearing up for a sale.
Don't see any evidence of that.
Chad,
I mean, I can understand the logic, because if you look at what Ross Desmond said, they think they are being sustainable. What was the phrase he used? He said, "You can't afford to swing and miss." He said, by taking a punt at it. I think the situation is toxic. I mean, I've kind of written in the Herald, I don't think anything changes at Celtic really until everything changes, and I think it has to come absolutely right from the top. But I don't necessarily see any great impetus for that. I mean, the advantage that Dermot Desmond has is he can live in Dublin, he can live in Barbados. He doesn't have to weather all this grief and this hassle that's been piled on Brian Wilson and Michael Nicholson and Chris Mackay at Tannadice. He can distance himself from it. I think with any billionaire, most of the time they probably think with some justification they're always the smartest men in the room. So they can afford to switch off to whatever criticism is coming their way.
what about the point I put to Stephen? And I'll caveat that by saying, can you still move forward when the fans no longer accept you? So we
Oh, that's a good one. Can you move forward as directors of the football club, Celtic? This looks like another throw-in for Ireland here. Into the box. Head tennis. Can Ireland get it down? Shot for... Oh, off the bar! Off the bar from Ireland. The keeper got that off the bar, didn't he? Woofed. What a shot that was. Right on the edge of the box. Oh, it was a deflection. It was a deflection. If it wasn't deflected, that would have been on target. Oh, I tell you, there was no way the keeper was saving that. Oh, he might have got it. He might have got it. He might have got it. Oh, just passed from the corner. They were too busy showing the game. Ireland put the ball in from the corner, and it was headed just past the post. Tell you one thing, Ireland away from home, and they're doing not too bad. Let's get back into this Celtic interview. Talking about the potential, or the probability, or not the probability of the fact that there could be a sale at Celtic sometime soon. I don't think it's going to happen, but
Polar opposite is what the fans are projecting towards the board. How do you solve that problem? That problem can only be solved with surgery within the boardroom, and that's not going to take place, in my opinion. So where do you leave you in a stalemate? And that's where Celtic's big danger is. They will not progress the way they should, and they won't revamp and reinvent themselves as a proper... It's been, I mean, the recruitment, everything about the club, the toxicity about it, is a byproduct of the complacency which has been around the whole place for a long time.
I've seen people say,
right, I'm going to cut for that because it's okay as giving it all to the board. We know that there are 250 fans that are banned from Celtic Park at the moment. Now, today, Celtic have been fined a further €15,000 after a section of the supporters disrupted the Europa League match at home against Stuttgart. We all remember it. It was the balls on the pitch. Martin O'Neill was deeply disappointed, and we ended up getting gubbed at home. We knew we would get a fine for it, and we've been fined £15,000. So the Celtic Fans Collective have now joined the realms of the Green Brigade and the boys in costing Celtic money. How do you feel about that in the comments section? Boy from the Cynic, the Green Brigade was on the Cynic tonight, basically saying it's not looking good for the future. Kieran, I'm not having an opinion in public about it anymore because it is too polarising. You're either with them or you're against them. But the fact that the the club have been fined a further £15,000 due to the actions of people connected to the Green Brigade and the boys. The Celtic Fans Collective said that they had no bullshit. We've been fined more money for actions of the fans. Is that going to entice people within the wider support of Celtic? Is it going to entice people to back it? To be fair, the fine works out at less than £13,000 if you take into account they're not another penny campaign. Paid for the tickets, throw the balls. Paid for tickets to throw balls on the park. Tell you one thing, Ireland are having a good go here. They're having to defend a throw in quite up there. Waste more money paying a week's wage to the absolute drivel they've been buying. The only upside from that situation is that Stuttgart were also fined €22,500 after their supporters were deemed to have transmitted a message not fit for a sports event during the second leg in Germany. I wonder if that was anything to do with Israel. It's funny how you can get fined for speaking up for people that are being condemned, isn't it? It's a funny old world. Ireland have got a throw in. It's 10 minutes into the game. It's still 0-0. Czech Republic 0, Ireland 0. Right, I'm going to jump back into this video with PLZ Soccer. More money spent on fines than players at this rate. It's not going to be too far off it. Morons, completely pointless. Yeah, and the thing is, it was little bouncy balls that they were thrown on the pitch. I mean, if you're going to have if you're going to have any kind of protest, don't throw little tiny balls onto the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, it's done and dusted. I think that it is is it an own goal? Sorry, I'm eating chocolate. I went into a shop and it had dairy milk, fruit and nut. I was like, I'm having some of that. Still raging about that performance at Tannadice, says Mikey Boy. Yeah. Let me just see the other score lines. Oh, don't tell me I closed the page down. I bloody well did, didn't I? More matches. Other games. No, there are no other games tonight. '24. Yeah, there is. There is. No, there's not. Yeah, there is. It's just on the wrong bloody page. Let's get the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. That's not the page I wanted. I had the page up earlier. Turkey 0. That was a full-time result. Turkey 1, Romania 0. Full-time result for Turkey. Czech Republic 0. Ireland 0. Denmark 0. Denmark without Kasper Schmeichel. North Macedonia 0. Italy 0. Northern Ireland 0. Poland 0. Albania 0. Slovakia 1. Kosovo 0. Ukraine, boo. Ukraine 0. And I only boo Ukraine because I know what they're doing in Spain. You know, they're buying up property in thousands and thousands and thousands of apartments. Where's all the money coming from? And I see it on an industrial scale, them buying up property here. Who gives a fuck about Ukraine? Sweden are winning. Come on, the Swedes. Wales 0. Bosnia Herzegovina 0. Also. Let's get back to the Ireland game. Cadbury's chocolate is rank now, says Michelle. Well, when you've not had it for a few years. Come on, Japan at the weekend. Is Big Tam playing against Ireland? No, I don't think so. No, he's not. Oh, shot from the Czechs. Is he even in the team? Let's listen to a bit more about what they're saying about the potential sale of Celtic.
Saying parts of it, might be a good thing for Celtic. I've made the point myself. It might be a good thing for them if they finish third, if they're consigned to Conference League football, because they don't, let's be honest, they probably don't deserve to win the league, really, based on their performances this season, based on the way the club has been run, the way it's been functioning. But will that really be the wake-up call that we think will be required at the level of Dermot Desmond? I don't know if it will be. I mean, I remember making the same point after the Scottish Cup final, when Celtic finished with Johnny Kenny up front and Greg Taylor in midfield, and you thought, well, surely this will be the call that will make Celtic say, it's time to get real here. Nothing.
Well, can I ask you a question then? The foresight that Brendan Rodgers maybe had that we didn't appreciate at the time could be
I'm going
visionary.
to stop this here. There's a potential penalty check for Ireland. Oh, is that a penalty? Oh, if it is, it's a soft one. He kicks his foot. He does kick his foot. Is that a penalty? What do you think in the chat? Is that a penalty for Ireland? Oh, it's a soft one if it is. I mean, he does kick his foot. Yeah, he kicks his foot, doesn't he? Penalty! Get in there! Penalty to Ireland! Get in! Yes! Penalty for Ireland. There we go. Get in there. We'll keep this aside just now. Who will take the penalty for Ireland? I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. No, don't click on extensions and shit. I don't even know if there's good commentary on it. Hopefully not.
Well, Ireland scored.
No. No, don't fucking press buttons. Oh, seriously?
No emotion on his face yet. Seamus Coleman guarding the ball for now, but it won't be he that takes it.
Come on. Seamus Coleman hiding the ball. That'll be Troy that takes it. I don't know who takes Ireland's penalties.
Troy Parrott scored the only
Troy
spot kick they
Parrott.
had. And that was in their very last game against Hungary. And he gets the nods again.
Troy Parrott
The man who
puts the ball down.
last year wrote himself into Irish folk.
God, my gran will be up there looking down saying,
With the
go on,
goals that
son.
he scored. 2 in the win against Portugal. 2 in the win away. 3 in the win away.
Can he score this goal
Now a chance
that
to
will
this
give
country
Ireland
the lead in
a
the
foothold
playoffs.
into the World Cup? He takes 5, 6, 7 steps back. Number 7 on his
Massive
shirt.
moment that is delayed by the referee's
The
whistle
referee's
because
telling the
goalkeeper
goalkeeper to
crosses the
stay
crossbar, which is
on the
not allowed
line.
under the laws of the game.
Stay on the line. Go on, son. Stick it in the back of the net.
So Parrott's made to wait.
Parrott.
It is Troy
That's
Parrott.
it. Yes! Get in there. He scores. Ireland are in front 1-0. Troy Parrott penalty.
Is this country's magical story set to continue?
Get in there.
They certainly think so.
Ireland 1-up. 1-up. Absolutely
Most annoyed
fantastic.
about how the goal came about with
Cracker.
the penalty award, but they can't say it hadn't been coming. Ireland started the stronger.
Absolutely
and they've now got their
beautiful.
reward.
Beautiful team penalty. Just a pity Celtic couldn't afford them. Anyway, right, now that we've got over the excitement of that, it's a fantastic start for Ireland. Absolutely cracking start for Ireland. Not got the TV on, the World Cup stuff is on. My mum and everyone will be happy. That's it. My gran and everybody will be loving it. Absolutely love it. It's a good penalty too. Cracking penalty. Absolutely brilliant. Right, anyway, I'm going to let me just turn this back down. It keeps on trying to do pop-ups. Let's get back to talking about Celtic and the potential sale. The potential sale of Celtic.
Winning to get into the Champions League.
Just realised I hadn't put the volume back up.
Looking at what we know now, you can see that he had a pretty valid point. Whether he was the right man to bring back because of the way Celtic are run is a different argument. Hugh always makes this point, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Hugh McDonald makes the point that bringing Rodgers back was a mistake because it was always going to be this standoff between this Premier League elite manager and this board who run a sustainable, cautious ship. They were a poor match. They wanted the same things, but they disagreed on how to get there. So maybe that was a mistake. But was Rodgers right? I think so.
As a coach, he was right. As an individual who goes back to the same things, the leopard never changes his spots on this one. And it was just, you were always aware of the way it was going to end when he didn't get his way. It's not just a unique thing to Celtic, it's at every club he's at. If he doesn't sense he's getting his way with what he wants, then suddenly they become the problem. But it's not about going over Brendan Rodgers now. I think it's just about, I mean, Martin Neal's been asked to work miracles. But I take Stephen's point about they don't really deserve to win it, the way they've conducted themselves. But the point I was going to make to you, which is what I asked Stephen.
Oh, is that in? Is that in? Ireland have scored the second! Get in! That came from a corner. Oh man, 2-0 to Ireland. 2-0 to Ireland. Get in. Yes. Get in there. What a goal that was. Right, let's get this let's get this listen up to these guys that are talking about whether or not Celtic are up for sale.
I can't work out why you would stockpile £77 million worth of cash. You have got a turnover which is so impressive in this league, and you've got a percentage chance always of winning to get into the Champions League. I can't work out why it's not being fattened up to sell it.
I think you need to be fair. Carter Vickers, Jota, Alistair Johnson, Engels, the inability to bring a striker in. You can't account, you talk about Shankland and Devlin being out, how catastrophic it could potentially be for Hearts, or has been. Celtic have suffered massive, probably more than any other title challenger, and that has put them in the position that they're in, because I don't think if those players are missing, Maeda are going off the boil as well spectacularly. If these guys were there, we're not having this conversation's mute.
If we don't appoint Wilfred Nancy, you haven't in that conversation either. That's fault on their point. But I mean, they to be devil's advocate for 1 second, they will argue that they gave a chunk of that money 2 Rodgers for Arnie Ingles, for Adamida, and for Austin Trusty. And those signings did not work well. You can argue whether they worked or not.
You think he signed them?
Do I think he signed them? Ida, yes. Ingles, that was the best option on the table because of more physicality. Trusty, probably, yeah.
Think
yeah.
so?
I think so, yeah.
I think out of a lot of the players that I've just rhymed off to you, I think he would not have sanctioned them.
Oh, well, yeah, I thought you were just talking about the 3 I mentioned.
Yeah, no, that whole lot there.
Well, there's
This
a
is
lot,
the point, this is the
obviously.
point.
There's a lot of club signings.
Yeah, and I think Martin knows, and Martin O'Neill definitely knows that he was trying to get a trick out of a squad that is not of the calibre that he was used to. Without dwelling too much on Celtic, the reason why it's really intensified.
There's no way was that a penalty. Surely not giving a penalty for that. Oh my God, it is. It's a penalty to them. A game of penalties tonight. Penalty to the Czech Republic. Can a one-time Celtic target save the penalty? Can Colm Kelleher save this penalty for Ireland to become an instant hero? Oh, it's a goal. 2-1. God, that's made a game of it. I thought Scales was missing, says some of the chat. Anyway, I'm going to listen to a little bit more of this because I find it interesting that they're speaking about the fact that, you know, are Celtic and are they about to sell the club? I mean, I don't think that Dermot Desmond is about to sell the club, but it is interesting I'm talking about it and the situation that Celtic find themselves in this season.
Buying the criticism of them is because Danny Rule also.
That comes from the manager. Taverni's delivered.
Nah, that's it. It's fucking. They're finished about Celtic, aren't they? Interesting. Let me just see if they say anything else about Celtic. Yes, there's a second leg. There is a second leg. What shareholders do you think would part with their shares? I think what they were getting at is that I don't think that Celtic are up for sale as an entirety. I think that they're talking more to the point, is Dermot Desmond getting ready to sell his shares? That's what they're alluding to when they say Celtic are for sale. The majority, I don't think that you're not going to get one person coming in and trying to buy up 50% of the shares, because 50% of the shareholders have no intention of selling their shares, and especially they would have to buy up the fans' shares, which is more than 50%. There's a ball coming in. Ireland get it away. Offside. Decision given. When you look at the fact that after Ross Dermott, I mean, what they said in the interview, it's a one-game playoff. Is it a one-game playoff? The final in Dublin, no second leg, so it's a winner takes all tonight. Well, there you go. It's a winner takes all tonight. That's just got tasty then, isn't it? It's a one-off game. I didn't know that. I don't fucking watch World Cup football. It's winner takes all then. Well, Ireland have got themselves in a good place. It's still 2-1. And you've got to say it was a penalty. Come on. But then again, Ireland's was a penalty. But getting back to Celtic, Lindsay Train sold some shares last year, Baz. They might be out for selling. Well, they're connected to Dermot Desmond, aren't they? aren't they some kind of secret? I mean, they're a company that invests in assets that gives them a return on their investment. And we still have no idea who they sold, because it was a big chunk, wasn't it? It was about 5 million worth or something. It was quite a lot of shares. We don't know who they were sold to, and that's where it gets interesting. It would be interesting if Tom Hunter would put in an order for Demon shares. Now, Tom Hunter's way past it. He's older than bloody Martin, is he not? You're wanting rid of dinosaurs, Jim. Do you know, you want rid of dinosaurs. Play the winners of Denmark, Macedonia, and that game is on right now. Right, let's get rid of that. The World Cup. The other games that are on. Czech Republic 1, Republic Ireland 2, Denmark 0, North Macedonia 0, Italy 0, Northern Ireland 0, Poland 0, Albania 0, Slovakia 1, Kosovo 1, Ukraine 0, Sweden 1, yay, Wales 0, Bosnia 0. In the other games, Ireland have got a free kick. Yeah, I thought he was one of them, Joseph, to be fair. What about Brian Dempsey buy shares of 10 million? That would be fan owned. That seems to have went quiet. It seems to have went quiet, that thing. Seemingly cross coming in. So way past for a goal kick from Ireland. O'Shea puts it past. I think the thing is with the whole Brian Dempsey thing. It wasn't Brian. Was it Brian Dempsey? Anyway, the 10 million shares. There's something that's not clicked in the background, and I think David Lowe has something to do with it. Not that I know. It's just what was being said in the passing. And at the end of the day, I don't think that. Personally, I don't think that Dermot's going to be selling his shares anytime soon. He came out in public and said he wasn't going to. So, he had money invested in him a few years ago. Oh, there we go. And he's cash rich as well, isn't he? Didn't he sell Quick Fit years ago? What channel is the game on? I have it on FOAnews.sc. Can Ireland get this win tonight? It'd be cracking if they do, like, all the way. Let's see if we can get the teams. Ireland. Troy Parrott, first goal. God, I'm about 30 seconds behind, aren't I? Let's see if I can refresh this and see if it will catch up. 34, about 20 seconds behind. Czechs with a free kick. Let's get the Czech team lineups. Tam's not even being called up. Only Celtic could get someone that isn't even in the national team and try and get them as a striker. God, he's nowhere near the team, is he? Tam the Czech. Should we keep him at Celtic after the summer? I say no. Definitely not. If he's nowhere near the international team, then what's the point? It's interesting that the Czech Republic are lined up 3-4-2-1. It's almost like a 3-4-3, isn't it, really? And Ireland have lined up the same. 3-4-2-1. That'd be a formation that Celtic would be better playing. Scales isn't playing tonight because he is serving a ban. But Johnny Kenny is on the bench as well as Adam Ida. Wonder if Johnny Kenny will get any game time tonight or Adam Ida. Fair play to Johnny Kenny. Do you know, coming from Rovers and then to Celtic and then making his way into the national team, people still give Johnny Kenny stick. Do you know, at least he's in the international squad. Tam the Czech, not in the international squad. Nowhere near it. Rio Hatate, nowhere near it. Yeah, it was Willie Hockey, wasn't it? It was Willie Hockey that put up the shares. David Lowe says no, apparently. Yeah, Brownwater, I think that's the system that we would be using. Baz is not in the squad because of an argument with the manager, who Tam the Czech. But that says it all. You're not wanting him at Celtic, are you? If Ireland just scored again, I was just showing you the goals. Left out because he says he was concentrating on his club. The manager never picked him because he said that. He had a night out, apparently, Baz. Huh. Ireland are still playing well. Here they go again, though. I tell you, Ireland are passing the ball a bit well, aren't they? They don't muck about like Celtic. There's no. Well, I was going to say no pass back, but they've just passed back now. Flying Colin, why do you even bother with Twitter in this day and age? Do you know? I was thinking about the meltdown from the derby and everything, and do you know a lot's changed in Scotland over the last 5 years, and it's become very, very bitter with that lot. They're even more bitter than ever before. Big Tam can't score. I don't want him either. No, I don't want him anywhere near the team, to be honest. I don't think that he's a good player. That's because we're sitting watching the Ireland game, mate. But you don't have to be here, so good night. Oh, we're sitting doing a watch along the Ireland game tonight, actually, mate. So for the first half, to see if Ireland can get through. Well, I don't think I've seen your comments before, so there's that one. Sack the board. I still think it's, people that say sack the board need to have a good word with themselves. Being honest, you've had a lot of messages on the channel that have been held for review. Wonder why. Who cares? Who cares? Anyway, I'm only watching. There's another corner for Ireland. Do you know what? I'm just laughing, flying Colin, because I've never. You get a lot of abuse. You get a lot of abuse on this. And do you know, I've never had people. You always get abuse for people that. It doesn't matter. It's cool. It is cool. The board are never getting sacked. No happening. No, it's not. It's not. Do you know? 147 characters on Twitter posts, and every one of them think they're special. Yeah, I don't do Twitter really. Twitter's like the council estate of social media, isn't it? And too many people hide behind fake profiles and stuff. YouTube's like that though. You get people hiding behind fake profiles on YouTube, but still 2-1 to Ireland. What is the playoff route for this? Playoffs. Oof. Bit of deflection there. I tell you, how does Scales get back into this Ireland team? FIFA World Cup qualifiers. (31st). Turkey are the first team through to the playoff finals. Ireland are still winning 2-1. And that'll be half time. The checks are there for the taking. Yeah, that was the Celtic fans demand investment without risk. We as Celtic fans demand investment without risk. Do you think that DD will sell Celtic shares if he stopped making money? He's not put any of his own money in, right? Yeah, but all he done was buy the shares from Fergus McCann. He's not invested a single penny of his own money. All he did was lace Fergus's palm with millions of quid. And then since then, he's been lurking about in the background. I don't think he will sell them. But after listening to the PLZ or whatever it is podcast, they seem to think that he could be preparing to sell the club. 3 minutes of extra time in this first half. But it's don't know who then buys the shares. And then if you sell the shares, does that one person think that they are running the club? That's the big question. Do you know, does someone come in and buy Dermot Desmond's shares, the 35%, and then he thinks that he owns Celtic FC? Because that's not what we want, is it? You're not wanting some clown to come in that doesn't own more than 50% of the club. And it's a very Celtic situation that we find ourselves. Don't know, there's not many other clubs that are controlled by somebody that only owns 35% of the shares. And going forward, that's the known issue with YouTube. That's fine. As hours will go. So we just need to wait and see. Personally, I don't think he'll sell his shares this summer. I think it'll need to get a lot worse before it gets better with Dermot Desmond to even think about selling his shares. I'm going to go for a corner. Get Troy Parrott signed, I wish. Desmond put in $5 million in 1995 and hasn't since. There's no way that he only put in $5 million in 1995 and he owns 35% of the shares. 34%. That can't be right. Let's have a look. There we go. How much money has Dermot Desmond put into Celtic? Dermot Desmond has invested a little over 30 million to become the largest shareholder. He's been a shareholder since 1994. His stake is now valued at £100 million. Wow. His stake is now valued at 100 million. The initial investment stepped up during 1994, secured a major stake when the club was in financial trouble. His primary investment for shares was just over 30 million. Dividends received over his 3 decades is roughly 7.6 million from dividends from his shares. The market value of his holding has grown to just over 100 million at early 2026. Wow. There you go. And that is half time. Half time. Ireland are winning 2-1 in Czechia, the Czech Republic. So that is interesting. He stepped up during the 1994 to get a major stake in the club whilst it was in financial trouble. His primary investment for shares was just over 30 million. Dividends received over the 3 decades. Dermot Desmond has received roughly 7.6 million from his... That's not too bad, is it? Over a 30-year period. I don't know, it's not too bad return, is it? Jesus. Let's get the other scores in the World Cup playoffs tonight. Let's go back a page. Oh, come on. Why did I come off that? The other scores: Czech Republic 1, Republic of Ireland 2, Denmark 0, North Macedonia 0, Italy 0, Northern Ireland 0, Poland 0, Albania 1. They're still playing. Slovakia 2, Kosovo 0, Ukraine 0, Sweden 1, Wales 0, Bosnia. Fucking just keep your original names. Anyway. Are Celtic up for sale? Desmond put 5 million in, says James, but we just read it out that he's put in a little bit more than that. No chance he's putting his. I mean, who comes in and buys? Who buys 35%? Let's put it into perspective, and let's put it to bed once and forever. There's no many people that are sitting with 100 million to take over 34% of a football club. Is there? So I think that when you look at that kind of money, I mean, you're talking, you would have to offer him more than the value of his shares at the moment. Nobody's going to come in and go, there's 120 million for you to bugger off. Because you want a return on your investment. And if he's only been able to take out 7.6 million since 1995, that's not a good return. Do you know, when you're talking that kind of money, you're talking about, do you know, you want to try and hit a 20% return on a yearly basis. That's not good. That makes it even worse that you're talking that it's 100 million quid. Didn't he pay for the train at Carmick Lennoxtown? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Baz, start a Euro Million lottery. There's a lottery in Spain called El Grande. That's on Christmas 2 days before Christmas, 23rd is on. That does almost more than 100 million. A rich Arab would be nice, but they're going to be bankrupt with the oil not being able to sell. Engels will be the last big transfer outlay, like he was. Look at everything between our loans and 3 million from here on in. Everything will be loan players. Yeah, I think it will be. Which is sad, really, for Celtic. I think as a club, you would like for us to go forward, but there is nobody coming in anytime soon. And that makes it even worse because if Dermot's not prepared to, there's nobody coming in to give Dermot or Ross Dermot 100 million to go and sit in the Bahamas. Do you know what I mean? No way. Jason's got it right. No person's going to pay 100 million for them shares. They would be dead before they got their money back. It's not good business. No, it's not. You would have to have someone that loved Celtic. Do you know what I mean? But there's no way. The money involved now, unfortunately, I think that we could just put to bed altogether any chance of getting rid of Dermot Desmond, which is sad. It is sad. Anyway, right, I'm done and dusted for the night. I'm only doing the first half. I'm going to go and sit and annoy the missus and watch the football. And we'll be back tomorrow morning. The big news tonight when it comes to Celtic is Celtic have been fined a further €15,000 after a section of the supporters disrupted the Europa League game by throwing bouncy balls onto the park. 15 grand fine for throwing bouncy balls onto the park. They knew that something would happen, and at the same time, they're sitting saying, get the fans back in. Bring the fans in. That, of course, does fine after fine after fine with the European context. They think the ban is unfair. They think that they're not going to get in anytime soon, and there is a stalemate at the club. You're getting people in the media saying that the club had been run like a complete shambles, just the exact way as the fans have been saying all season that the club has been run like an absolute shambles. You're now getting people in the media saying that the club needs change at the top for it to go forward. With Fergus McCann no longer at the club, having the majority shareholding. Dermot Desmond and his little 35% that he cost him 30 million and is now worth 100 million, and the fact that he's only made 7.6 million in dividends over 3 decades. I can't see anyone coming in and giving Dermot 100 million to bugger off anytime soon. Anyway, I am done and dusted for the night. Thank you everyone who's joined in this evening. Let's hope that Ireland get the job done. 2-1 up at half time. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you in the morning. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.